Right, so this is today's table. The mission is Cloak and Shadows, so we will be doing secret objectives. And this is Brian's lovely laser cut scenery, very Necromunda-ish. So we've got the 6 objectives. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 6 is under there, and number 5 is right over here. We've agreed that if you're on the level above or below, you can still go 3 inches sideways to get the objective. So if you're 3 inches to the side here, you can still claim it. We've also agreed that if there's a small enough gap like this here that your 6 inches can get you across, you can take a dangerous terrain. You can cross it as just a normal 6-inch move, so like there as well. So yeah, we've rolled for deployment. It's going to be, is it Vanguard? So it's corner to corner. We've just done the dice off, and I will be deploying first, and I've elected to choose this side. So we'll now take you through the armies. Alright, so this is the Dark Eldar force today. We have a Succubus with an Archaic Glaive and Animus Vitae. I haven't rolled her Warlord trait as of yet. There is 3 Incubi and a Clavex. The Clavex is the one with the sword pointing up. They have a dedicated transport of Venom with 2 Splinter Cannons. Other fast attack will be another Venom with 2 Splinter Cannons. And totally apologise, but I forgot to bring me Scourge. So I am proxying Stu's Banshees as me Haywire Scourge. The one with the black armour will be the leader, the one that will have the Shard Carbine, just to make it clear. We have 3 squads of 3 Reaver jet bikes. Each one of them has cluster caltrops. We have a Ravager with 3 Dart Lancers and Night Shields. We have the Forge World Reaper with Night Shields. We have 3 Raiders with Night Shields and Splinter Axe. Each of them has 10 warriors with a Splinter Cannon in. We have a bog standard Razor Wing that has the Strength 6 missiles with Shred. And we have an Aspect Host formation from the Eldar Codex. We've got the Dark Reapers with the Strength 8 missiles as well. We've got 5 Fire Dragons with the Exarch, and we've got 5 Spiders with the Exarch. They've got no other upgrades than that. So we'll now take you through Graham's army. Right, so this is Graham's force today. The Warlord is a Mastery Level 2 Librarian in Terminator armour with a Combi Melter. He has Force and he's rolled on Telekinesis. He has Assail, Levitation and Shockwave. His Warlord trait was rolled on the Space Marine Codex, and he has Feel No Pain. He is with 3 Thunderhammer Storm Shield Terminators and 2 Lightning Claws. Graham's also brought the Stormwing formation. Plasma Cannon and Hurricane Bolters on there. Yeah. And Heavy Bolter, Last Cannon and Assault Cannons on the Storm Talons. Down here, first troop choice, 10-man tactical squad. There is a Grav Gun and a Heavy Bolter. In a Rhino with a Storm Bolter. Do the Rhinos have extra armour?
Yes,
Yep. So the second squad here, Sergeant has Plasma Pistol, there's a Missile Launcher and a Melter Gun. Rhino with a Storm Bolter and extra armour. We've then got 2 Predators. One obviously has the Twin Las Cannon and 2 Las Cannon Sponsons with extra armour. And this one has the Auto Cannon and 2 Las Cannons, again extra armour. We've then got 2 Vindicators, extra armour. And Graham forgot his Tech Marine, so he's using my Mechanicum Tech Priests, 2 Thunderfire Cannons. So that is the forces today. We shall see what happens with deployment. Right, so I won the dice off, so I've deployed here. I've put the Scourge under the side. I didn't want to risk deep strike them in with all this terrain. The Dark Reapers are in the ruin here with one of the Poison Boats at this side. This Venom has the Incubi and the Succubus in. We've then got 2 of the Reaver squads here and another Poison Boat. Got the Reaper held at the back. Meanwhile, in the centre up here, we've got the Spiders and another squad of bikes. And the Ravager looking to hopefully get some nice shots all the way through. We are going to be playing true line of sight, so if there is any cover in the way, it will be granted. So that's going to be nasty for all them Lancers. We've got the Fire Dragons in this Venom and another Poison Boat on this flank. Meanwhile, around this side, the Space Marines have held right back. Graham's put the Thunderfire Cannons here. the Vindicators, one of the tactical squads, and then his Predators on here, and obviously reserves for us both. Graham has the Stormwing formation, the Terminators riding in the Storm Raven, and my Razor Wings in reserve. What we've agreed as well is that moving on or off the terrain, you would roll difficult terrain, move through cover or whatever it is. But once you're in it, you can move freely as normal as long as you stay in it. Obviously, if you move back off it, it's another difficult terrain test. Same with going up or down as well. You need to roll for it to move up or down 3 inches. We're classing each level as a 3-inch move. So that is it after deployment. Before we go any further, though, big shout out to Stu, Haliquin117. Check out his channel. He's filming the battle report as well. But yes, on to our game. Graham, would you like the C's?
Yep. Nope.
No. So we'll now move on to Dark Eldar turn. Right, so these are the cards that I've drawn. Just to point out as well that I have +1 weapon skill on my Reavers. So I've done my movement. This Raider has pulled forward just to here, get some shots through the cover there. Not expecting much, but we'll see what happens. The Scourger pulled forward. I lost one due to dangerous terrain when they jumped out of the ruins. The Reapers stayed exactly where they are. The Venom here with the Incubians pulled forward. These guys have jumped forward, as well as these. I don't need to take dangerous terrain on these due to them having skilled rider. This Raider has jumped into the ruins there past his dangerous terrain, and the Reaper has pulled forward looking for some tasty shots through all the ruins there. Down here, Spiders have walked forward, they have not jumped. The Ravager has moved at 6 inches, just so it can still fire all of its lances through there. These Reavers have jumped up, and this Raider has moved 12 inches as well. Looking to hopefully get some shots in on them Thunderfires if it's within range. That passed its dangerous terrain, so we'll now move on to the shooting phase. Right, so in the shooting phase, I should have pointed out it is night fighting, so that does increase the cover save by 1, but Dark Eldar have night vision, so all of the Dark Eldar models that shoot ignore the stealth rule. This Rhino has lost 2 hull points and is immobilised. Basically, the disintegrator cannon here, the Haywire Scourge, the Dark Reapers, the Reaper here, and the Dark Lancers from the Ravager all shot down Graham past an insane number of 4 covers. The only other things that I had to shoot really was the 2 Reaver squads here, and the disintegrator cannon from this, the 2 Venoms under both sides, shot down at the Thunderfire cannons, and despite getting an insane number of hits, I think it was 24 shots altogether, 30 shots altogether, I only missed with 4, so I only caused 8 wounds, and Graham passed nearly all of his saves, he only failed 3, so I was hoping to take them out, but that guy still stands on 1 wound. So, we'll add up the points and come back to you. Right, so I do score Ascendancy, which is D3 victory points, and my Warlord trait is to re-roll them. For 1, I'm definitely going to re-roll that. For 3, so at the end of turn 1, the score is 3-0 to Dark Eldar.
Okay guys, these are the objective cards that I've pulled out.
They appear silently, don't see, and then people like...
Right, so Graham's done his movement. The tactical Marines have disembarked up into the cover here. The Rhino obviously is immobilised and stuck there. These 2 Predators have swung around the side of the ruins looking to get some shots down on that side of the Scourge and the Raider. Meanwhile here, the Vindicators looking to shoot something nice and pretty through the ruins over here. And the Thunderfire is also pulled forward down here. I think we're going through here. Right, so the Predators here shot through with everything, despite Graham getting hits with his snap shooting last cans and everything. The Raider passed all of its 3-up jinx. Down here, the Marines running like bosses through the corridor, trying to get closer into the fight because of their immobilised Rhino. Both Demolisher cannons shot down at the Reavers that were here, and the Thunderfire cannon as well, targeting the Venom there as well. They got a 2-up jink due to Skilled Rider plus night fighting, and they only lost 1. Unfortunately, they rolled a 9 for the leadership test, so they have ran backwards 7 inches. That could have been quite dangerous. That was it for the Graham's shooting phase. He hasn't scored any points, but he has elected to discard objective 4. So the score is, as it stands at the minute, 3 points to none. So we'll come back with Dark Eldar turn 2. Right, so a little bit of a rule hiccup straight away there. We're using the new Spaceman Codex and we totally forgot the Marines now have 2 wounds. Now there was 3 wounds lost last turn, so basically Graham would have lost a Thunderfire cannon and then that Marine is on 1 wound. It hasn't affected the game though because he couldn't have shot at anything else anyway. So we'll now move on to Dark Eldar turn 2. Right, so that is the extra card that I have drawn, and I still have these 2. I've done my movement phase. These guys failed the leadership check when Graham shot at them before, and they failed the morale as well, so they were just on the edge of the table there. Almost got Graham first blood. The Razor Wing has came on. He's looking to get some tasty shots down in on those Marines there. The Razor Wing, the Raider and the Scourge have pulled forward, looking to hopefully get rid of some of the Marines and the tanks over this side. The Venom, with the Incubi in, has moved forward 6 inches and have disembarked on the other side. And the Reavers here have pulled forward off the top up here. And there's the Incubi and the Succubus looking to get some shots in down there. I'm hoping I can get the Animus Vitae off. We'll see what happens though. This Raider here has moved forward. Hopefully take some pot shots down at the Thunderfire cannons, and these Reavers have pulled forward as well. The Spider's warp jumped 16 inches and they pull forward. The Reaper looking to get some nice shots through there with the Blast Temple, hopefully just within range. And the Ravager has stayed exactly where it is, hanging fire at the back, shoot through some ruins, and Graham's no doubt going to pass a lot of cover saves this turn. So yeah, we'll move on to the shooting phase. Right, so down here, the Scourge managed to strip 2 hull points from the Predator. The Reaper, unfortunately, didn't do any damage to it. I rolled a 1. The Razor Wing wiped out that tactical squad there, and the Rhino. I shot all 4 missiles and got 4 direct hits on 8 Marines, causing 32 hits, and I caused 31 wounds altogether as I was re-rolling the 1s because of shred. Strength 6 meant it also managed to take out the Rhino there as well. I've done the rest of the shooting. I've unloaded most of the poison into these guys here. After I took the Thunderfire cannon down, the Marine was left on 1 wound, and the Witch shot the Animus Vitae and killed the front Marine, which means I'm 1 turn up on the Power from Pain, and then I made a mistake. I continued shooting when I wanted these guys to charge. Now these are left in the open. The Ravager shot down and shot at the Vindicator here and did get a pen, but Graham passed his cover save. Meanwhile, the Reavers that were at the side flat outed right into there, so Graham's going to have to get out to deal with them. That Raider was one of the poison boats that shot down at the Marines. There was also the Reavers here. They've done their assault move. The Venom that's there also snapshot through, and I've also flat outed that Venom there as well, so Graham's also going to have to deal with that. So at the end of my turn, death by 1,000 cuts. Well, I killed a Rhino, I killed the Marines, and I killed the tactical squad, so I get D3 victory points for that. So we'll just roll that now, and I get to re-roll it. 3, I think I'll leave that for 2 points. I'll get Big Game Hunter because I took out the Rhino, and I get Overwhelming Firepower. I destroyed 3 units in the shooting phase, so I get D3 for that as well. That is another 2 points, so that gets me 5 points that turn, plus First Blood for the Rhino. That's 6 points, plus the 3 previously, sorry, puts me at 9 points to 0.
Alright guys, these are the objective cards I've pulled.
Right, so Graham's rolled through his reserves and the Stormwing formation has not come on. Devastating. So down here, the two Predators are pulled forward, looking to get some shots in over here. Meanwhile, down this side, the Rhinos pulled forward 6 inches and the Marines jumped out before it moved. So they're looking to probably take on the Venom there. The two Vindicators have pulled forward as well, looking to get some shots down, probably on the Warp Spiders or the Raider up top there. So we'll now move on to Graham's shooting phase and see what damage you can do. So down here, the two Predators unloaded everything at the Scourge, and the Scourge, despite passing one of their invuln saves, unfortunately 4 of them fell to the weight of fire from the last cannon and auto cannons. Down here, Graham's Vindicator shot at the Warp Spiders. The Warp Spiders jumped back, they only got a 3-inch jump, so they scattered into the cover, and Graham only caused 2 wounds and I passed 1 of the 4 cover saves. Down here, these guys, all the bolters rapid fired at the Venom, caused 1 glance and I passed the Jinx save. The melter gun missed and the crack missile missed. Meanwhile, the sergeant with a plasma pistol managed to strip a single hull point off it. It was a glance though. The other thing that happened, yeah, that Vindicator's gone. Basically, Graham elected to shoot point blank at these guys here. He scattered back 3 inches, so he still clipped the front 3 incubi. And he killed them, but he also hit himself as well. And ordnance, he managed to actually pen himself and then rolled a 6, so it blew up. The explosion, meanwhile, killed 1 of the Reavers and they failed their leadership check, so they are running, and only caused a single wound on the Marines, which Graham passed his save. Right, so down here, in the assault phase, all of the tactical Marines charged the Venom. They used crack grenades and they managed to get 2 glances and a pen. And I passed the 2 5-up invuns on the glances and the pen went through. And we rolled a 6 and the Venom blew up. In Overwatch though, 1 of the Marines went down to the Fire Dragons. I lost 2 Fire Dragons in the explosion and they have passed their morale check, so they are not pinned. Right, so points, Graham has scored overwhelming firepower for killing the Scourge, and he's going to burn Hungry for Glory. So we'll now move on to Dark Eldar, turn 3. Right, so these are the cards I've drawn, and I have drew Trophy Hunter. Now, obviously, based on the rules of that, I have to explain it to Graham. He nominates a character and an objective marker, and I have to either kill the character or hold the objective for 1 point, or if I do both, I get 2. So the only character on the board is the Space Marine Sergeant there, and Graham has elected that objective marker there. So I've done all my movement. The Warp Spiders have pulled back. The Ravager has stayed where it is. Down here, the Reaper has pulled forward to get some shots through at the Predators. The Reapers have stayed where they are. These guys finally rallied. Down here, this is pulled forward. The Razor Wing shot forward as well. The Reavers under there have also rallied. Both of the Raiders passed the difficult terrain coming out of the cover and are looking to converge on the tactical squad. The Venom is hiding there as well. The Succubus and the Incubi have moved forward. I was looking to charge, but I've got enough over there, I think, to probably deal with them. The Dark Eldar Jetbikes have pulled forward as well there, looking to possibly assault. So we'll now move on to the shooting phase. Right, so down here the 2 Reavers have flattened out on the objective 4 that Graham nominated. The Warp Spiders have jumped, they ran back to secure objective 3. Meanwhile, down here, the disintegrator cannon from this, the Venoms, and the disintegrator cannon from these 2 took out the tactical squad after the 3 Fire Dragons blew up the Vindicator. Dark Reapers down here, meanwhile, shot all the way through the ruins, scored a couple of hits, and Graham unfortunately failed 1 of his cover saves, and the Stormbolter on this Rhino has gone. The Reaper took out the auto cannon Predator there. I fired the large blast and got a direct hit on this one, and obviously it's the size of the blast went onto the other one. So this is down to 2 hull points, and the other one was also destroyed as well. So we'll now move on to the assault phase. I think we're going to make some charges over here, see if we can take this rhino out. Right, so in the assault phase, these guys charged in. I got 3 Hammer of Wraths with the blade veins and only got 1 pen. Meanwhile, down here, the other 2 didn't score any hull points with their strength 4 Hammer of Wrath, and despite 9 attacks each with Furious Charge, still didn't take out the last hull point on that. So we'll now add up my points and see what the score is.
30.
Right, so I've got Secure Objective 6, Secure Objective 3, and Trophy Hunter. I got the objective and killed the Sergeant as well. So that puts the score at 13-2 to the Dark Eldar. So we'll now move on to Ultramarines, turn 3.
Right guys, these are the cards I've picked.
Right, so at the start of Ultramarines turn 3, they have taken a pounding. They've only got the lone rhino left with nothing. Graham. Yeah, I'll leave that up to the imagination. So, right, so we've got the rhino left with no Stormbolter. It's got nothing. Down here, we... Look at Stu.
Hope he's got an iron here.
Guys, right, so the start of Ultramarine turn 3, they are desperate for the rest of the force to arrive. They are waiting for the Storm Raven and the Librarians. Down here, the Rhino is left on his own with 3 Reavers circling him. Meanwhile, over here, a lonely Predator standing, shooting across at the oncoming Reaver. So, do the reserve forces arrive, Graham? They do. So let's move on to the rest of Ultramarine, turn 3. Right, so the Predator has pulled back 6 inches, looking to get some shots down at that Raider, we think. And the Rhino has moved forward its full 12 inches. And as you've seen, the Storm Raven's come in, that Razor Wing is going. Storm Talon up here, looking to get some shots down on the Dark Reapers. And over here, this one's looking to get some shots in on the Reavers down there, we think. So we'll now move on to Graham's shooting phase. Right, so in Graham's shooting phase, this Storm Talon shot everything down despite Jink and feel no pain. Lost one of the Reavers. Did pass his morale check. The Storm Talon here, however, shot down. Hurtled everything down at these guys, and 2 of them failed, unfortunately. They passed the morale check, however. Over here, the Predator, despite getting a number of hits, this Raider decided to Jink, and with a 3-up cover, managed to shrug most of it off apart from a single glance. Meanwhile, the Storm Raven unloaded the multi-melter and 3 rockets, and then snap-fired the Hurricane Bolters at the Razor Wing, and the Razor Wing elected to Jink. So he lost 1 hull point to a glance, unfortunately. The Plasma Cannon, Power of the Machine Spirit, dropped on the Warlord. Graham did scatter back onto the Raider and would have made the Raider not be able to Jink. However, he elected the Twin Link as he really wanted to get rid of the succubus there, and unfortunately he scattered that way away from them. So we'll now add up Graham's points. Right, so Graham hasn't scored anything, but he's elected to discard Hold the Line. So we'll now move on to Dark Eldar, turn 4. Right, so these are my cards.
They're obviously
all going to be quite difficult to get, I think, but I've done my movement and we'll see what we can do. So these Reavers have pulled forward, looking to hopefully get to the Predator next turn. The Reaper has moved forward, looking to shoot down at the Predator as well. and the Raider here has just swung sideways. Over here, the Succubus and the Incubi have jumped into the Venom, and the Venom's just pulled sideways. The Fire Dragons have ran forward, well, moved forward for the moment. They're probably going to run in a moment. Both of these Raiders have swung round, hopefully get some shots down. The Warp Spiders have moved forward this way. The Lone Reaver over there has jumped down to grab some cover and stay out the way. The Ravager, meanwhile, has stayed exactly where it is. So, we're going to go on to the shooting phase. Right, so the shooting phase, despite getting several hits from the Ravager here, hits from the Warp Spiders, and disintegrator cannons from the 3 Raiders, he stands on 1 hull point. Graham passed most of his cover saves. The Reapers got 2 hits. All I had to do was roll a single, 3 or above, on 2 dice, and I rolled a 1 and a 2. So that didn't go down. The other thing that happened, the Fire Dragon shot up at the Storm Raven. Graham didn't jink that one and didn't score any hits. Meanwhile, the Reaper here shot at single beam at the Predator and rolled a 2 for the D3 hull points, and I didn't roll a 1, which stripped the last 2 hull points. In the assault phase, the Reavers there charged in at the Rhino on the single hull point, and the Hammer of Wrath took the last hull point from it. So, at the end of my turn, I don't score anything. I'm going to discard this.
Right guys, these are my objective cards.
You can kill you.
Right, so Graham's done his entire turn. The Storm Raven has come this way looking to take out the Ravager. He shot the Plasma Cannon and the Multi-Melter at it. I elected the Jink and passed all of my Jink saves. This guy here unloaded the Assault Cannon and the Heavy Bolters down at the Reapers. Despite causing about 6 or 7 wounds, I actually passed all of the saves. This guy snapshot down at the Reavers here. He got 2 hits, 2 wounds, and I failed 1 of me Jink and feel no pains. Although it is only turn 4 because I got the Animus VT off earlier, classed as turn 5. Therefore, the Reaver is staying still. He is fearless. So we'll now add up if Graham got any points. Right, so Graham's elected to discard Harness the Warp. We'll now move on to Dark Eldar, turn 5. Right, so these are the cards I've got. I've still got some from last time, and I've got that one which I've drawn. I've done my movement and a few of my flat out moves. The Razor Wing has come back on, looking to get some shots down. These guys have Warp Jump, looking to get some more shots on it. The Reaper and the Ravager, Raider, sorry, have just pivoted slightly. Actually, I need to pivot that back one. There we go. These 2 have jumped up here, they passed the dangerous terrain tests. Fire Dragons have already moved and then ran for the battle focus. I still need to shoot them. The Venom has come this way with the Clavex and the Succubus in. These guys have already moved and flat outed as well from way over there. So, we're hoping there's going to be a battle down here on this objective next turn. I'm moving over this way in preparation. Hopefully, Graham's going to have to get out at some point. So, we'll see what happens. Right, so we've done the rest of the shooting phase. The disintegrator cannons from the Flyer, as well as the Dark Reapers, managed to take down the Storm Talon that was here. All the disintegrator cannons from here shot up at the Talon here, as well as the Warp Spiders, and it was actually the Warp Spiders that managed to strip a single hull point off that. The Ravager also shot up at it as well. The Fire Dragons are out of range. So that is the end of the turn for Dark Eldar. I did score Scour the Skies. I'm going to keep hold of the other 2.
Right guys, these are my objective cards.
Right, so Graham's done his entire turn. The Storm Talon has pulled this way. The Raven has dropped to hover mode. The Terminator's got out, and the Raven managed to wreck the Venom there. I disembarked 6 inches because I am fearless, so I pulled right back to here as I was expecting Graham to charge me, and he's elected to run straight forward. Now, I really want to see these guys charging at them. However, I think there's just slightly too many attacks. I think I want to try and whittle some of them down first from the other side, see what we can do there. But that was it for the turn. So we'll see what happens in the Dark Eldar next turn. Right, so I've drew secure objective 2, blood and guts, and I've still got hungry for glory. This guy's securing objective 2. I've done all my movement phase so far. The Reaper has pulled sideways, looking to hopefully drop the large temper on these guys. The Warp Spiders have pulled forward. The Clavex and the Succubus have pulled out, looking to get a charge in now that they're not going through cover. There's a lot going on down here.
Right, okay.
Really, really hoping to get into combat here and hopefully chop up some Terminators. Meanwhile, the Ravager has stayed where it is. These two poison boats are converging down on them as well. The Fire Dragons and the Raider in there as well. So we'll move on to shooting phase and see what we can do. So down here, the Ravager stripped a hull point off the Storm Raven. The Reaper fired its large blast as well and got a glance on it, and the Fire Dragons there took out the last one despite Graham's jinking. It did not blow up, however. The Dark Reapers shot at the budgie up here and didn't get any hits. Meanwhile, the 3 disintegrator cannons from the 2 there and the 1 under there shot at the Terminators and scored about 7 wounds, and that is what's left. So, I've still got things I could shoot. I've got all the poison, and I've got the monofilament from these guys here. However, we want a challenge. We want a close combat assault. We want to see what will happen between the Terminator Sergeant, the Terminator Librarian, and a Succubus and a Clavex. So, I'm going to declare that as the end of the shooting. These guys will need to take a morale check, and these are going to charge in. So we'll see what happens. Right, so I elected not to shoot anything else at them as I wanted that combat, and the Librarian ran away terrified. He rolled an 11 for his leadership check, and I've just measured that nothing is in combat. So, the Librarian is running. What's he going to do in his next turn? We shall find out. Right, so in Graham's turn, the budgie has dropped to hover mode, and he rained the assault cannon down there at the Warlord. Graham got 2 rends, so even if I look outside, they were both insta-killed. Meanwhile, down there, Stormbolt took out the Fire Dragon Exarch and charged them in the assault phase. Didn't get any wounds on Overwatch, and Graham's consolidated that way. So, we'll now move on to the next Dark Eldar turn. The Razorwing is looking to take out the lost hull point on the Storm Talon, hopefully. Meanwhile, down here, there is a convergence. Space Marine, Librarian, Nigel is getting surrounded. He's on the back foot. Right, so just going back to an earlier point in the game we thought was going to be quite fun, we're actually going to enact it out and see what happens. So the Clavex and the Succubus were here, and they were going to charge the Terminator Sergeant and the Librarian. However, they ran away. So what we've done is we've gone back to this bit, They have made it into combat, but Graham's got his Overwatch to do, and we're going to film all the dice for this because I think it's quite interesting. So Graham, Overwatch with your Stormbolter.
6.
Ouch. Yep. 3's to wound. That's 1 wound, which means the succubus would take a wound because she has 6 up armor save. So the succubus is down onto 1 wound, 2 wounds rather. So these guys are going to charge in. And we could issue a challenge, but it's probably not going to make a difference which way around it goes. So the succubus is initiative 9. She has 4 attacks base, plus 2 for rage because it's at least turn 6 at that point. Sorry, it was turn 5 at that point, but I got the Animus VT off, and plus 1 for 2 close combat weapons. So I'm using the Arclight Glaive here. So I am hitting on 3s because I'm weapon skill 9. So 2 misses. Furious Charge plus the Arclight Glaive means I am wounding on 3s because your toughness 4. That's at AP 2, so you've got to make 5 in-runs. Your Sergeant will be first though, so 3 up until he dies, and then 5 up on the Librarian. So the Sergeant is cut down, 2 more on your Librarian and 5 up. And he takes a wound. The Clavex goes next. The Clavex has 3 attacks base, plus 2 for rage. He doesn't get Rampage, however, because they're not outnumbered. Clavex's weapon skill, however, is 6, so I'm still hitting Graham on 3s. So that is 3 hits. Furious Charge plus +1 strength means I'm wounded on 3s. That is 3 5-up in-runs that you would need to make. And there we go. So that's what would have happened if the charge had been made. Right guys, so that's the end of today's game. I hope you liked the little cinematic end there, and obviously the back to the combat down here of who would have won that. It's been a really enjoyable game actually playing on this terrain. Graham picked it for us when we've arrived down at War Games, and obviously Dark Eldar not too hindered by it due to being able to move up and down being skimmers, but it's been some great terrain. We've knocked a lot of models over in fairness, but it's definitely been fun. We've had a day trip out as well today, so next to us we've got Stu and Josh playing Necrons versus Necrons. Please check out Stu's channel, he's battle reporting that game as well. So big shout out to Harlequin 117 Stu, and big shout out to Brian from War Games. If you live in the Middlesbrough area, please call in. Contact him via the page to book tables, or if you fancy playing myself or any of the other lads that you've seen on the channel, drop me a message. But yeah, thanks very much guys.